Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fetch Quest podcast, where we talk about video games and more. Today I am joined by my fellow co-host Connor and Brewer.
Hello.
I want to die. Hey everybody.
That's not exactly the best way to start an intro. What's up, Brewer? What's going on?
Overtime just kicked my butt this past week.
Alright, well that's
So now I'm sad.
That's definitely a present day issue. How about we talk about something you were... how about we talk about something that make you happy? Because, I mean...
I'm never happy.
Well... What about when you were a kid? All kids are innocent. They had to be happy at some point.
I was happy a tiny smidge when playing some games, I guess.
Well, how about we...
Ones where I throw balls at things.
How about we relive some of them childhood memories and make you happy? Because we're going to be talking about Pokémon, our favorite childhood memory, and probably the most mid-franchise in the modern era. But before we talk about that, we got...
I say it's peak or mid, in all honesty. You flip a coin, you get really good, or you get Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl.
But before we talk about that, let's talk about the giveaway that we're doing. What?
Yeah.
What's the giveaway?
I'm glad you asked, Connor, because we are giving out a code for Quiplash 2 on Steam. And all you have to do to be eligible is like, comment your favorite Pokemon, and subscribe.
We will be announcing the winner to this on the 20th. Again, that is August 20th. If you want a chance to win Quiplash 2 for free on Steam, all you have to do is comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. We will be picking a random person for this giveaway. Again, it will be revealed on the 20th. That will be the reveal of the episode for that day. But let's get into today's topic.
Yeah, if you like having some good online fun with friends, Quiplash 2 is a great game, so get on it, people.
Let's do it. Alright, Pokemon. This has definitely been an episode I've been kind of hyped, kind of not hyped for, not gonna lie.
Well, it's kind of hard to just think of what a Pokemon episode is, because there is so much stuff for Pokemon
There's so
that it's
much.
hard to even comprehend it. It's like a Cthulhu thing, where it's like just... It's so big, you can't even comprehend it, because you got the video games, you got the manga, you got the anime, you got the trading card game, you have the plushies, you got all the other merchandise, you got
the
Pikachu on a
spin-off.
bus, you got Pikachu on a plane, you got Pikachu on your phone while you're walking, you got Pikachu watching you while you're sleeping. There is so much Pokemon stuff. If there is something that has enough space to put Pikachu's face on it, they've probably done it.
Pikachu, Pikachu Pocket Pussy?
No.
Dang it.
Well, not by the official sites at least.
But yeah, that's a... I mean, Brewer...
Pikachu in a fighting game, I guess.
Brewer's not wrong about that. Like, Pokemon is the highest grossing franchise ever. I think it's like... It's Pokemon, then Disney, right after that, if I'm correct.
I think it's Hello Kitty right after.
Yeah, Hello Kitty's like up there. I know it's in the top 5. I haven't looked...
Which is insane to think about, because Hello Kitty's huge, but then you got the juggernaut of Pokemon.
Yeah, Pikachu is the most recognizable, like, character in all of fiction. That's crazy.
Because even people that don't know video games, you can show your grandma Pikachu and be like, oh, that's Pikachu!
You know what's funny? Like, Pokemon has not been a thing for 30 years. Meanwhile, Disney is, like, in its 100th year, and Pikachu's still more popular.
Yeah.
That is saying something.
I mean, depends on who you ask, but I think in general, Pokemon, at least Pikachu's face is more well known.
Yeah.
It's really weird to me, because I, like, obviously, I grew up, I knew what the fuck a Pikachu was, but it's also, like, dang, it's kind of hard to realize, like, I'm a fan of this video game series, and it's just this big. Like, there's some games in the series that I didn't even know about until I, like, researched it, you know what I mean? It's so crazy how big this franchise is, and
like I said before, if you can put a Pikachu face on it, it can be in anything, because there's so many spin-offs as well, like the new Detective Pikachu.
Pixelmon.
That was announced. Well, I mean, that was one, but you got one where you're taking pictures of a Pikachu. You got one where you're running with a Pikachu, exploring a dungeon with a Pikachu. One where you talk with a Pikachu with a microphone.
therapy with
One
Pikachu.
One where you have to draw circles around a Pikachu.
One where you draw a Pikachu.
Hey, you Pikachu!
I remember when you were over at my house and we were testing out the mic on that and how not well it worked.
Yeah, we were going like, "Fuck you, Pikachu!" and shit. That was so funny. God, I love doing that.
Pikachu, do you like the PlayStation? Pikachu, do you hate your father? Pika.
That was so funny. But yeah, that's.
I think we should start off with saying what our favorite Pokemon.
I think we need to explain what Pokemon is.
That who?
Dude, people know what Pokemon is. You throw balls at critters, you form a team, you fight the gyms, and then you fight the champion. Boom, that's Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's type weaknesses.
And that's as complex as you need to go unless you're
competitive, and you want to start getting into abilities, IVs, EVs, stat spreads.
It's pretty much cockfighting, but cooler.
Yep.
Cockfighting, but you have a cool dragon. Well, maybe it looks like a dragon, but it's a flying type instead for some reason.
Shoutouts to Charizard.
Yeah, true. Shoutouts to Flygon. Actually, no,
That's a
not
dragon
Flygon.
type.
I meant Yanma and Yanmega.
Oh, you mean... Well, I mean, I don't really see those as a dragon. Because
They look like it. They're literally dragonflies, but they look...
I mean, I know they're called dragonflies, but I don't know if that necessarily would mean they should be a dragon.
Yeah, like a bug type fits it better.
I mean, if they had a paradox form, that's a dragon. I think that would actually be
saying
kind of
they
sick.
should be bug dragon, not bug
Wait,
flying.
do we have a bug dragon type? I don't think we do.
We do
No.
not.
Holy crap.
That's one of the
That's
few
why I
dragons we
wanted
don't
to be
have.
bug dragon.
But yeah, going back into like what Pokemon is. Pokemon essentially is a JRPG series where you get to create a team of 6. It can be more, but like you're only able to carry 6 Pokemon at a time, and you go on a journey throughout a region where you collect most of the time you collect 8 badges, which is like a test of strength, like between gym leaders, and when
Basically boss battles.
yeah, pretty much. And once you have 8 of them, you're able to challenge the Pokemon League, which is the 4 best trainers in the region, being the Elite Four and the champion, the greatest trainer in that region, essentially to prove
They're
yourself.
supposed to be.
And
Yeah, and usually while doing that, you're fighting off some terrorists,
that's not even a joke. Like,
finding a bunch of other
fanboys.
wacky characters, and then also catching a legendary while you're 10 years old to stop a global warming in some game.
by legendary, he means like Pokemon that are like exceedingly rare and have like very, very vague but also cool powers, like time, space, everything.
Land.
See,
Air.
The sun.
this one has a shield for a face. This one has a sword in its mouth.
Yep, pretty much. But
Just whatever they can think of.
that's a pretty like simplistic view of Pokemon, but like everyone loves Pokemon for a lot of different reasons. Like personally, I love it for the battling and like the sense of exploration with this team that I'm creating, but like a lot of other people like to play Pokemon because, oh look, there's a cute animal I like. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just very accessible, because even if you like lose some love for the series over time, it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who didn't grow up with a Pokemon game and like have nostalgic memories of like, oh yeah, I put this guy on my team, and then I chose Sceptile as my starter. It's like, oh my god, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it'd be like that. It really does. Like,
Especially because it's compared to other JRPGs, you have so many more options than most of them with the whole team building, because that is one of the best parts of Pokemon is the team building. Because
Yeah.
of all
When
the
you-
Pokemon you have.
Yeah. And when you've got like 1,000+ Pokemon, you have a lot of opportunities.
yeah, that doesn't mean like every game you're always able to get 1,000 Pokemon as your team, because Game Freak are a bunch of bitches and they're terrible game designers.
I'm pretty sure the Switch would explode.
It would
also.
not. The 3DS was able to handle like the 800 Pokemon that were at the time. It was
Well, another problem with it is the Pokemon company itself, because like I mentioned before, there's the anime, trading card game, merchandise, all that stuff. If they want new merch, usually means they want new games, which means they want it out very soon, which means not a lot of dev time.
which is really dumb.
Which means they're gonna throw out a DLC that's gonna be probably mid as shit.
Yeah. So as of recording this is about a day after the Pokemon Presents that was shown on August 8th, 2023, and we definitely got some reveals. I'm really not excited for that DLC, which we'll talk about more into like with Scarlet and Violet, but
I mean, I love the new Paradox Pokemon Great Neck.
Was it actually what's called?
It's
No,
okay, I was about to say.
it's like Roaring Thunder or something.
no, it's Raging Bolt, but
Bolt.
everyone was calling it Great Neck.
That's funny. But
Nah, I actually, hot take. Apparently, I actually really like what Raging Bolts. I like it.
I mean, a lot of people like it too. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take. I mean, it's just kind of still funny to be like, hey, Raikou fucked a giraffe.
so true. But let's talk about more like what Pokemon is. It all started back in like what 97, 96 when like the first Pokemon games came out, Pokemon Red and Green.
Maybe a little earlier than that.
I think it's like 95 or 96.
It's like 96 or
here.
97. It's one of those 2 years. Point is, when Red and Green released in Japan, it blew up. Oh my lord! It is the first it was the first popular monster catching game. The one like before that had to be like Shin Megami Tensei as like the big one, but like Pokemon took the world by storm. It was crazy. Like obviously like none of us were everyone in here was not alive to see that happen, but it's just like the effects of that blow up initially in the late 90s like truly defined a generation to come. Like in terms of gaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick. Pokemon Red and Blue came out in 1996.
In Japan or America?
It says the US release date. It was the Japan release date was 1996.
Okay, so that means Red and
Okay,
Green
okay.
came out in 95.
US release date was 1998.
Yeah, because for a while with the Pokemon games, they didn't have like worldwide releases until like X and Y. They'd have it released in Japan, and then you have to wait Lord knows how long to get it in America and everywhere else.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I mean was kind of unfortunate because like there was definitely like a time period where people had priority over we got these Pokemon games before you, ha ha ha, and that kind of sucked. But they changed that by like 2013 with the release of Pokemon X and Y.
I mean, hey, they still have that with the anime because the damn Horizons anime like presents. They're like, guys, look, this new show is coming out. Isn't this so great? When it's been out for like a couple months already.
Wait, is it actually?
Yeah, in Japan.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
America.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah, that and like they were hyping up like the Ash's final battle with Leon. When people already knew what happened because it happened months before that, and it was getting hyped up everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
It's really dumb. It again, biggest media franchise in the world, and they can't have international releases at the same time.
It's
Or
hilarious.
simulcasting.
Well, I think a big part of that has to deal with just like the dubbing of it, because the anime they probably want to get the stuff out as soon as possible and then focus about the dubbing later, because it's much bigger in Japan than it is in the West. Even though it's still
No, I know it's
pretty
much
big.
bigger in Japan, but
Yeah.
still, it's not like it's small in America.
No,
I
it's
think
huge in
they-
America as well. Don't get me wrong.
They can definitely collaborate with the animation team to get the dubs out sooner.
Yeah, they could. They definitely could.
But that's a topic for another day. Let's talk about the games instead.
No, of course.
Okay, so what is each of ours favorite Pokemon game?
Game. Ooh, that's a hard one.
I say maybe Black 2 for me.
Connor, what about yours?
I was gonna say you could go first since I asked the question, but mine's gonna be probably controversial, but mine's Gen 6.
Oh, that's kind of surprising.
No, Gen 6 is good.
It was my first ever Pokemon game, so I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I love Megas. I think Megas are cool. I think I don't think everything about it is great. It starts to go on that downhill cycle of the evil teams being kind of mid as shit. But I think the game's really good. I think the design of the region's pretty good. I think a lot of the Pokemon are really good. Like, I love Goodra, I love Florges.
Aegislash.
Yeah,
Aegislash is such a cool Pokemon. That is... God, I love
Aegislash
it.
is a beast. I love Greninja. Greninja's fucking based.
Yeah. I think
It's
with
just-
Pokemon X and Y, like, I don't think they're still nearly as good as the other games, and it does kind of make sense. It was their first 3D game, but generally with mainline Pokemon games, even if some are not as good as the others, usually they're all still good games. Some of them just have more problems than the others.
I would make a serious argument that some of the past few Pokemon games aren't exactly good.
I mean, it depends on how high your standards are, maybe, or what could be considered a good game in your eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating for Sword and Shield and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, but if I look at them objectively, maybe, it's not like they're completely terrible. I mean, they're not amazing by any means, but they're not completely terrible.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's just that, like...
There are very different standards in this group alone. Like, if something is entertaining to me, and, like, well, it's not like the baseline, but if I think something is good, then it's good. In my eyes.
Well,
if he thinks it is good, then it is good.
Bring it a scale. We got Connor for, like, he'll go a bit easier on the games, and then Guy as the annoying ass critic.
No. Like, when the games are being made by, again, the highest grossing franchise ever, I expect good quality. Like that, you cannot blame me for that.
I don't blame you. Like, yeah, they.
Like, I'm not gonna defend it by saying, like, oh, it's the graphics are fine. Like, no, they should be higher quality when it's the highest grossing franchise in the world.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, Pokemon, like, in its early stages, like, I'd say through the late 90s to the 2000s, like 2010s, they had, like, a pretty hot streak going in terms of, like, games and their quality. Like, I would argue, like, Gen 1 all the way to Gen 6 was, like, their golden years in terms of game quality and game design. Then, like, Gen 7 kind of hit, and, like, some changes were made that not a lot of people had agreed with. Then the Switch games came out, Pokemon Sword and Shield and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and then things just really went downhill.
I'd say Switch games is the biggest dip in quality. The 3DS games, I thought they were pretty good, like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This is a hot take with Guy, but I think Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are actually pretty good.
I think they're fine. I think they're fine. I just, like, I was super disappointed because I played Sun and Moon when that came out. I was really, really satisfied with that game. I had such a good time with it, and I was like,
yeah, but then there's barely anything added.
Yeah,
right?
and that really dogged my, like, opinion of the game. And it's like, what's the point of me playing this game more and more when I have already played it, essentially? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you replay it and almost everything is the fucking same. But they're like, oh, hey, we put a couple different Pokemon in these routes. New game,
Whoa.
guys. Give us $40.
Give us your fucking money. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really not a fan of those games, and I think that was, like, the true sign of, like, the things to come in terms of quality. Hate to say it.
I mean, I think the games are good themselves, but the practices that went into making those games, that was the biggest problem, because dual releasing, it's still such a really shitty thing.
Yeah, so, like, Pokemon, like, really, really popularized the business strategy of dual releasing, which, if no one knows about, it's essentially when they release a new game, they will make two versions of it. Each version is not superior to the other, but there's enough difference.
They're basically the exact
Yeah, pretty much, but there's enough differences in them that they encourage you to buy both versions so that you can experience
that or have someone else buy it.
Yeah, for online play, which is,
like, as far as I know, the only differences are, like, there's, like, a few Pokemon you can't get in one version, and then the legendary. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that still goes.
The biggest differences they had was, like, in Gen 5, where, like, some of the towns were actually changed and all that stuff, and some of the gym leaders, I think. Well, actually, no,
but, like,
not gym leaders, but the towns were changed.
But, like, modern is literally just some Pokemon are different that you can't get in the other, and then the legendary.
Sword and Shield had, like, a couple exclusive gym leaders, but it was nothing all that. Oh wait, I'm wrong. Gen 5 did actually have some exclusive gym leaders. I think it was like Iris and then the really old dude.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to be so honest. There's a gym leader who is a Shield exclusive in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I am so down bad for her. I'm not even kidding. Oh my god.
Is it the fighting one?
No, the ice one. The ice one.
Oh,
No,
the
let me-
ice mommy one. Yeah.
Yep.
Ice mommy.
That's why his Pokemon Shield is better.
Okay, so write
Yeah.
it down in my notes. Guy has a weakness for MILFs.
You don't already know this?
No.
Yeah, he's literally said he's wanted to go to
No,
Milk
if
Man.
anything,
Yeah, shout out to MILF Manor.
if anything, I thought you liked men more since you're always talking about Guts, Berserk.
That's
Oh my god. No, as a heterosexual male, MILF Manor is my place to go.
that sounds like a bit of a cope, if I'm being for
Yeah,
real.
I think he's coping. It sounds kind of like someone that's bi would say.
Oh my god. I am not bi. Jesus Christ.
Or are you? Is there an imposter?
I'm not. No.
Wow, boom, boom, boom.
But, yeah, no. Pokemon definitely knows how to hit your horny side. I'm not even joking about this. Like, guys, look at
Guys,
Cynthia.
it's a very good thing you aren't an artist, because you're definitely would have been one of the people that the moment they see one of those new characters announced, you're one of the people that are already uploading something to, like, fucking porn sites.
I don't understand how those people get that shit out like that quickly. I'm gonna be honest.
Determination and horniness make an incredible combo.
I think it kind of depends. Like, I've seen a little thread, I think one of your friends that's an artist said that they can have some general sketches already outlined, so they just draw the character details. That, or like if they give a straight up outline, like what they usually do to hype up the games, be like, hey, we're announcing a new character, they give an outline of the character, you can start getting that prepped and then just speedrun it.
That's fair.
That
I mean, yeah, that's
that
pretty
or
fair.
put this face on this body that's similar, and there you go.
That's fair. But, I need all of y'all to be honest with me.
What is it?
Look at fucking Cynthia and don't tell me. You cannot tell me she doesn't hit, like, some sort of niche for
Nah,
you.
she's hot.
Hello, Purple Cliff. I didn't know Purple Cliff was in the podcast episode.
What?
Oh, you don't know who that is. Purple
No, I
Cliff's,
do not.
Purple Cliff's a Pokemon YouTuber who essentially is infamously known for just having a huge fucking crush on Cynthia.
Guy, I swear, it is a shame that you still haven't played my Gen 5 copies that I lent you, because you just sound masochistic with the way you love Cynthia. You would just love to walk into the house not knowing she's there and just get your shit stomped in.
I am a Souls fan. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying. You're a masochist.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie. They have pretty good character designs, Pokemon does. That's
I think that's one of the very few things Pokemon never misses with is character designs.
That music.
No, they definitely have some misses. Some of those designs are really stupid.
Swordbird and Shieldbird.
Okay, well, we don't count that.
What's the, God, there's a certain personal thing. Do y'all remember the, Gen 7 challenges? Like, people could challenge you as trying to take the Champion's Throne. Do you remember
I
that?
remember that. That was actually a really cool feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was there's this one guy you could get. He was a Dragon Master. I thought his design was really bad.
Well, I mean, he is just a nameless NPC, so I don't think they probably tried to give him too good of a design.
Yeah, it's just like Pokemon. They're really hit and miss with their designs. Not just character designs, like for like characters or NPCs, just also like Pokemon in general.
I feel like overall they have good designs.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, like, for every, like, Tinkaton or Mimikyu that you have, like, your equal amounts of, like, Swordbird, Shieldbirds, and Garbodors, you know what I mean?
Garbodor isn't that bad.
Yeah, Garbodor is not that bad. I am a Garbodor apologist. I will always be there for my boy.
Just like,
Just because he's
yeah,
garbage
God.
doesn't mean he's garbage on the inside, guy.
Joke ruined. You started like 3 times. Joke ruined.
Okay. I said so many times I'm throwing, but I was going to say, so, just like yourself, Connor, you love trash. Like, you love playing with trash. Yeah.
Please.
That joke was going somewhere, I promise, I just fumbled hard.
You actually threw the game, so.
I actually threw that.
I don't even know what games you're talking about, but.
But yeah, so Pokemon is really weird with their designs. Like, some of them I really like, even if they're, like, kind of, like, not favored in the fan base, if that makes sense. Like, what's a good example? I am a very, very big fan of, Finneon, for example. I actually like that Pokemon's design, even though it's pretty forgettable.
I mean, I don't.
You probably
I feel
don't even know
I feel
what I'm
like
talking
people don't hate on that design to begin with.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
If you said you were a fan of Bruxish, I probably would have heard something.
Yeah, Bruxish is a little weird. It's a psychic water type Pokemon, which I think is pretty cool. But the problem with it is that it
Ugly fish.
It's an ugly fish.
I mean,
Giant-
sometimes it's probably better to have a couple of purposely ugly designs.
The thing I hate about the most is that it's got, like, weird human, like, lips, but giant fucking fangs.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that is really weird. Some of them are weird. Like, okay, let's. Oh wait, we never answered the question of what my favorite gen was, or like my favorite games.
Yeah, what was it?
It's either got to be Platinum
Legends Arceus?
or no, not Legends Arceus. It's either Platinum or X and Y.
Okay.
X and Y, because there's a lot of nostalgia with me with that game. I love Mega Evolutions. I love the region. I do think there are a lot of like design flaws with that game. I'm not gonna lie, but Platinum for me just had like the perfect pacing. I love the Pokemon. I love the challenge that came with the game. I love some of the highs of that game. I love the evil team. I love the legendaries. I think it's just an overall great game. That's probably my favorite one.
Platinum is great. I did start out with Pearl as my first game, so Gen 4 does hold a soft spot for me.
Yeah, of course.
But Gen 5 I do think was better. And Gen 6 I feel like it just has some missed potential because they never did the like second version to improve it.
I still am so upset there was never a Pokemon Z. Like, I don't understand why there wasn't.
I'm pretty sure there was. It's just they were probably rushed, so they had to
They definitely were.
cancel it.
Because there's like a bunch of spots you can go to where it's like, oh, hey, this thing is here. You need a key card to get in. You look it up. The key card just doesn't exist because they didn't code that area in. Probably because they ran out of time.
Which is really unfortunate because, like, X and Y, like, Kalos was a really good region, but it could have been even better, which is crazy.
Well, hey, after they do Gen 5 remakes and next Pokemon presents, maybe they'll get the Gen 6 after.
Hopefully, I hope so.
Those Gen 5 remakes are going to be so ass, I'm going to be honest.
I wish they would just re-release the originals. Like, please.
Yeah, like, on God, if y'all have not played Brilliant Diamond and Shining and Pearl, good. Do not play them. They are very bad Pokemon
you know
games.
something I saw that was crazy for that game?
What's up?
In Japan, you can get it for basically $8 because that game's garbage.
That's fucking
What?
crazy.
Like in America, it's still kind of pricey. Like even a used copy will usually run you like $30 because people are dumb. And
That
they
game
just
is
buy it
so
up.
bad.
But like in Japan, you can find it for $8.
That is crazy.
That's the price of a fucking Big Mac.
That's hilarious.
That's really funny, actually. For those who don't know, Brilliant Diamond and Shining and Pearl are remakes of the Gen 4 games that came out on DS, Diamond and Pearl. They essentially copy-pasted those games, but the problem that they did is that they did not balance it very well. They decided to add something called the Experience Share, which, no matter what, your Pokemon will share EXP, even if they're not in battle, which was not in the original Diamond and Pearl. And because of this, the game becomes extremely imbalanced and not designed very well. Not just that, but they tried to improve in some areas by, like, redesigning like Cynthia's team to have items or whatnot.
That's not the only good thing. I think giving her like some items and stuff to make her like a proper champion, that's a good change. Bad change, removing the content from Platinum and just not making that the definitive version so they can have two versions to sell again.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that big of a fan of the chibi art style. Like, I understand what they're going for, and I understand to keep it a 2D game, but the approach with it is so bad, because it looks so uncanny to me, because, like, Pokemon characters, like, their size models are, like, normal, but, like, every single NPC, like, doesn't have that normal size model until they're in battle, which I understand is just like the original, but the chibi models, they just look so
that was more of like
bad.
a technical thing because you had to do that with sprites on a small DS console.
Well, yeah, which I'm okay with.
This is a home console game remake, though. They should have kind of done what they did with like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Oh, for sure, and it really, really makes me mad with just what they did and just how they bastardized Sinnoh. They really did.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you play it and you've never played those games and you can get it for cheap, preferably pre-owned so they don't get any more profits, it'll still probably be a good experience, alright, but it's not going to be what the originals were.
I shudder to think that someone's first Pokemon experience was Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
I am so sorry if that's your first Pokemon experience. I'm sorry if your first experience is Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield. I'm gonna be honest.
Scarlet and Violet at least is acceptable. Like it's not great, but it's passable.
Scarlet and Violet's biggest problem is that the game just doesn't function half the time.
Yeah.
I think like there are still some game design things which I think are dumb, but it was actually a pretty fun game. They just made some really dumb decisions, like not having the gym leaders adjust the levels for whichever you've done. You just you either go fight the easiest one or you go fight the hardest one. They don't like change up their team for whatever reason.
That and the fact that there was like a bunch of glitches, but if you go through without encountering any of those glitches, I still think it's a good Pokemon experience. But Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are just bad. They're just bad.
Like, my thing with Scarlet and Violet is I think the first half is a good Pokemon experience, but it's just because of how bad the game is designed, like in its balance and just like the area design, I really could not. It was hard to keep attention, I'm going to be honest.
I did have fun exploring because like the concept is just so much fun that like even though it wasn't executed the best, you still could have a really good time with it. The biggest thing though is when the world started glitching out.
God, the game is just unfinished. I'm honestly surprised. I don't understand why that game was released the way it was. Like, it's the worst reviewed mainline Pokemon game. It's the worst reviewed Pokemon game. It definitely did not go well with the press or with the fans, and yet, like, they still eat that shit up. I can't believe it.
I think they're better than Sword and Shield, but I don't blame people for when the game first came out for rating it lower than Sword and Shield, just because of the bugs. Because Sword and Shield, for as bad as it was, to some degree, it was still more playable than Scarlet and Violet when it released.
Yeah.
Like, it still had really dumb things with like the spawns and the way the areas connected, but it was still, I'd say, playable, and you didn't get nearly as many glitches. Because I remember I was trying to catch a damn Mousehold one time. I threw the Pokeball, and fucking Giratina must have come in or something, and the whole world distorted.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. Let's move away from negativity though, and let's talk about what is each of our favorite Pokemon.
There's a reason people love this franchise, because they have some games which I would consider peak
on
like Platinum.
Yeah, Platinum.
What's our actual favorite Pokemon? Like just out of.
Who wants to go first on this one? Who wants to go first?
You can go first, Guy.
Okay. I have a tie for my favorite Pokemon. These two go back and forth for so many reasons, but my two favorite Pokemon are Mimikyu and Greninja.
Edgelord.
No, Mimikyu is misunderstood, and Greninja's just fucking awesome.
Edgelord.
Are you honestly, Burr? I'm surprised you didn't say, Guy, I'm surprised your favorite Pokemon isn't Aegislash because you love Berserk so much.
Nah.
That is something you would say.
Nah.
That is something you would say. That is true.
That is something you would say.
I feel like I'd use a different Pokemon for that.
But yeah, those two Pokemon
your favorite Pokemon
incredible.
isn't Machamp because you like big, burly, buff men.
Well, that or I was going to say
true.
Tinkaton because it's a creature that wields a freakishly large object.
Jesus. Okay, Tinkaton is honestly up there. If no one knows what Tinkaton is, look that shit up and tell me you don't love that Pokemon.
It's a gremlin with a giant hammer.
It's awesome. But the reason why Greninja and Mimikyu are my favorite Pokemon is that Mimikyu, like, conceptually to me is fucking awesome. A Pokemon that was kind of shunned to the side just wants a little bit of attention, so it tries to disguise itself as a Pikachu to get some attention. Is really cute, and honestly, it's kind of sad. And then Greninja, X and Y were my first Pokemon games, okay? And what was the first Pokemon I ever got? It was a Froakie. a fucking Froakie. And then that thing evolved to be an absolute monster with Greninja, and I fell in love with it instantly. A frog ninja that could utilize both attack and special attack, so cool to me, and it just, like, it really helped me out through the game, and just my overall experience with X and Y, and that Pokemon is just so cool to me. Not just that, but I love it competitively, and just how it's, like, a very fast attacker.
I mean, yeah, the first Pokemon you ever get's always gonna hold some nostalgia for you.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Because the first game I ever played was Pearl, and I chose Fire Monkey as my starter.
Monkey! Monkey!
Yeah, because Infernape is badass.
Infernape's the goat.
But
Infernape is pretty
Pokemon
awesome.
White was the first Pokemon game I ever properly beat, I do still have more love for Oshawott and Samurott.
No, it's understandable.
But
I love a lot of Pokemon. It's kind of hard because like my top 10 or like top 20 are pretty close in all things considered.
the problem is, I've never really sat down and thought, like, damn, what is my favorite Pokemon? Because there's over 1,000 of them, so it's kind of hard to decide.
Yeah, not just that, but like that number, like the Pokemon that you would consider like your favorites, just like keep growing over time. You know what I mean?
Like, I really love Snorlax now compared to when I was a kid, because like I'm literally sitting on a Snorlax beanbag chair as we're recording this, while I have a Ditto Snorlax plushie, a tiny Snorlax plushie, and then a Snorlax Squishmallow sitting at my side.
Brewer, I hate to tell you this, but I think Snorlax might be your favorite Pokemon.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah, Brewer, like if he sees like a big round man and he's like Snorlax, then you know that's gotta be his favorite Pokemon.
Well, at least plushie wise, I mean, like, there is like a theory that goes into like good mascots and stuff that they're round and not like have sharp edges, and Snorlax very much fits that box because he's very round.
Yeah, Pikachu would too because of his facial structure. And
Yeah,
just,
so
like,
also as a plushie, he works out very well. Whereas if you tried to make a plushie out of Porygon, it would not work too well until you evolved it.
yeah, that's fair. Porygon's also a really cool Pokemon. It's like supposed to be the first man-made Pokemon, and it's like it was made due to like coding and whatnot, and its evolutions are a byproduct of like, you know, upgrading your coding or your coding becoming corrupt, which I think is so
Dude,
cool.
I want to see a Paradox Porygon. That would be hella cool for.
That would be
like
really
a
cool.
future
Obviously future. He
Porygon
can't
that
have
would be really
past.
cool.
Not-
Knowing Game Freak, they would do past Porygon.
They would.
Well, technically, you could get Porygon in the past, because, like, in Legends Arceus, which does take place in the past, if you went to a time rift, a Porygon would spawn, and that's the only way you could get it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that is the only way. But
which does make sense,
But,
'cause it's from the future.
the Pokemon, like as of recent, they've kind of broken their lore, and it's kind of crazy. So like,
We're talking about Great Neck.
Before you get into
Yes.
the lore, I haven't said what my favorite Pokemon is yet.
oh yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, Connor,
I
what's
just,
your favorite?
I
Pokemon?
just know that's going to take a while,
Yep,
so I
keep
want to go ahead
going.
and get that. So my top three are Gastrodon, Lucario, and Greninja, in that order.
Okay,
Those are very.
I was
good
very
picks.
surprised, because the top two, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of people's favorites, but Gastrodon is not one I hear a lot of love for.
Dude, Gastrodon is based.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's
Gastrodon-
bad. It's a really good Pokemon. I just don't hear a lot of love for it.
Gastrodon is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It is just my everything about it works for me, and I love it so
Dude,
much.
you want to know something funny about the Gastrodon line?
What?
So, I mentioned before that my first Pokemon game was Pearl, and I was really, really young when I played that, because that's the reason I beat White before I beat Pearl, because I understood how to read at that point. With Pearl, I barely understood how to read, so I was just getting through as best I could. But I saw, Gastrodon and its pre-evolution Shellos, they have two forms. They have West form and East form. One of them's pink, the other one's like blue and green. So
Aren't they canonically racist towards each other?
Yes.
Isn't that canon?
Yeah, canon.
That-
racist Pokemon. I
Holy
would
shit!
never expected
Canon racism. Canon racism. Holy shit.
that. But yeah, what I was saying is, the first one I ever saw was like the pink one, right? And then I was running around, and then I see Shellos, but it's blue and green for some reason. Like, what the fuck is that? I thought it was like a damn glitch or something, so I like killed it with a close combat Infernape.
Okay, real quick. I know this is gonna get off topic, but did anyone ever think a shiny was a glitch?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I have a story.
No.
I have a story.
I have a story,
I have a story.
too. You go first.
I have a story as well. I also have a story.
I hate this so much. This is okay. If you ever get into Pokemon, if you ever see a shiny Pokemon, which a shiny Pokemon is a very rare version of a normal Pokemon that has a color differentiation. Like it has
Or-
different color schemes.
Or a Sparkle, because in newer games they haven't had good color differences.
Yeah, that's fair. But they're very rare and they're meant to be in the game. They're very cool things. I was such a dumbass as a kid.
We all were.
I in X and Y, I discovered a shiny Illumise. And I knew that shinies were kind of a thing. Like, I had heard about them. But I thought it was a glitch. That this Pokemon that shouldn't be colored right was in my game. I hate that I did it,
You killed it.
but I killed it.
I have a very
And you know what's really funny?
similar story too.
It's really funny, too, because I caught a shiny Porygon in Pokemon Go today.
That's cool.
That's funny. Porygon is really
It
good
is
shiny.
funny. Yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, no, not Porygon. I'm sorry, it was Bellsprout. I had Bellsprout. I'm thinking about Porygon. Shoutouts to our short about the Porygon blinding people.
We can go into that history later of how Porygon gave hundreds of kids seizures, but I want to talk about.
Tell your story, please.
Yeah, so this is kind of a double part story because, like, again, I was really dumb as a kid. So when I was looking on the Cerebi net and Bulbapedia, I saw like shiny Pokemon. I had no idea what they were, other than the fact that they were different colors for some reason, and I didn't think to look up why they were different colors. So being as smart as I was, I just assumed, hey, if I get the level 100, it'll turn them shiny. But then I also thought, like, above level
You
100
were so smart.
was level X, because that was I saw Pokemon cards that had level X on them, and I assumed Pokemon card levels worked the same as regular Pokemon levels. So yeah, obviously,
Brewer, you were
I was
so
just
smart.
a prodigy as a kid. And
You were
being
so
the
smart.
prodigy I was running around Pokemon White when I happened to accidentally run into a shiny Shelmet. And being as smart as I was, I decided to weaken it with my level 100 Samurott.
Oh, that's
You were so smart.
actual genius here.
Because I was
folks.
also kind of afraid of what it was. It was yellow and it sparkled for some reason. So I was like, maybe I should hit it. So I did with the level 100 Samurott.
Good job, young Brewer. You got rid of the glitch.
But yeah, it was literally the meme of like coughing bomb versus hydrogen. Or wait, no,
Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
I messed it up. It's too late for me. But coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb. It was that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But
Because
yeah, shiny.
you want to know what's worse
You first.
too. So,
What's up?
Guy, you encountered the shiny Illumise, right?
Yeah,
That was in Gen 6, correct?
yeah, that was in Gen
So
6.
your odds at that point were 1 in 4,000 or about that.
Yeah,
The thing
around there.
is, before that and all the previous gens that shinies existed, it was a 1 in 8,000 chance.
I know, dude. They for reference, the shiny odds were diminished to around 1 in 4,000 in Pokemon X and onward. But before that, it was about 1 in 8,000, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I have another story for that too, but I'll let Connor go first. But yeah, I ran into a random shiny encounter that was a 1 in 8,000 chance, and I killed it. Because that is literally the only shiny I've ever failed. I've never failed another shiny after that.
You poor soul.
One day, though, I will boot up my copy of Pokemon White, and I will run around until I find that shiny Shelmet again, and I will throw a
Whenever a
fucking...
guy gets finished with it.
Yeah, and I will throw a Master Ball at it. Well, I have 2 copies. because my brother also had like the games. So I think Guy has Pokemon Black, and then I have White.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know how it is. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, but
What's your story, Connor?
Yeah, what's your story?
So, mine's similar but a little different. So, I was playing Gen 6, and I'm pretty sure I was trying to level up some of my Pokemon. And I had previously caught a Durant, and it was a normal Durant. And I had leveled it up a bunch, and it didn't evolve. So I was like, dang, that sucks. Then I randomly found a shiny Durant, and my kid brain had the thought process of, it's a different color. Maybe that means it evolves.
Which game was this again?
X and Y.
Okay.
So
You were so smart.
I know. I was like, maybe it's different because it'll evolve. And so I caught it, and I leveled it up, but it didn't evolve. I was like, oh well, that sucks.
Oh no, don't tell me.
I can't remember if I released it or not. I doubt I did. I think I just like put it in the box somewhere. But I distinctly remember the thought process of, it's a different color, so that means it'll evolve.
I mean, at least at some point you did have it. Who knows if you still have it now in that copy, but...
I mean, I don't have the copy. I lost the copy, unfortunately.
At least at
That
some point
is
you owned
unfortunate.
it. At some point.
Yes, I at least owned it.
Yeah, me and Brewer had like the mentality of, oh my god, it's different, die!
Oh god, we were like shallows. We were being racist.
Oh no! No! No!
Oh.
No! Oh god, yeah, but Pokemon. That's actually a really that's a big topic I actually want to talk about. That's actually most people's post game when it comes to at least a modern Pokemon. Is shiny hunting. That's that's something I was really big on when I was a early teenager.
I love
It's like
shiny hunting so much.
shiny hunting is so much fun.
Because I think people that have like gambling addictions and need to get rid of should just shiny hunt instead. Because you actually win sometimes, but it's still pretty rare, so you can get that little gambling high you need.
Well, it used to be rare.
Well, yeah,
It used to,
you can
yeah.
still go play the old games though, which I have a story for that.
He does have a story for that, but shiny hunting is, essentially you want to get your Pokemon, have a collection of shiny Pokemon just so you can say, hey, I have it. And that's what a lot of people try to do, is that they try to get shiny versions of every Pokemon, or at least like a Pokemon they like. Which I did for a good amount of time. I got up to like, I think 100 shinies of like different Pokemon. It was so much fun to do because like you worked for the odds and you tried your best to try and get these different colored Pokemon. And frankly, I felt really satisfied from it, especially the ones that were competitively viable. God,
Also, just like the color schemes on a lot of them can just be pretty sick too. So that's another thing.
Oh, for
Shiny
sure.
Greninja, shiny Porygon, shiny Lucario is pretty good.
The shiny Tapus.
The Tapus are really good too.
When they actually
God,
became
they were
available.
such good.
I hate shiny locking
think-
so much, which is like a
Yeah, shiny lock.
I think it's an unspoken rule that every black shiny looks cool.
Yeah, no.
I don't think
That's
there's ever been a
yeah.
miss with a black shiny.
Yeah, the black shiny.
What about shiny Paldean Tauros?
That doesn't. We don't.
Shit, you're right.
If
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
distinct change, it's never a miss.
It went from black to black. that was its change.
Oh.
But
Hey.
God, what was I about to say?
You know what they say?
If
What?
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, once you go black, you never go back.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, Connor.
Yeah, that's what that one girl said to me too.
Wait
and
a
then she broke up
second.
with me. I'm kidding.
Guy is up? Question mark.
No wonder he's simping
Guy
over
lore.
Cynthia. He's coping right now.
Yeah, that's true.
He's coping.
I wanted to do. Nah, I have dominatrix fetishes. I mean, that's why I like Cynthia. I'm kidding.
I think
Okay, let's
my
move
God.
on.
Let's move on. But yeah, like shiny hunting is like a really big post game for a lot of people, and it's really unfortunate that Game Freak, as of recent, hasn't put a lot of effort into the new shinies, because I love the idea of like discovering Pokemon that I love with different color schemes that are good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that, and like I said before, I hate shiny locking so much because it's always the dumbest reasons behind it. Because like with the legendaries, they said in like an interview, it's like, oh, we want this to be special and we don't want people to be soft resetting and stuff. And then someone brought up a good thing. It's like, okay, so why do you just release them as mystery gifts then, and just give them out to everyone? And they were like, oh, I don't know.
Well, repeat the question. We don't have a good answer.
Because I know the damn reason why they do it is so they can like have promotions with GameStop and all that tie-ins to make you go to a store, get a little code, so you can get the shiny Zygarde or whatever.
Yeah, it's
that's so dumb.
Like, shiny Koraidon is so cool, and it's fucking shiny locked.
And Miraidon, and both of those shinies are really good.
Funnily enough, there is one instance where they're not shiny locked.
It's a glitch, isn't it?
Yeah. So, do you guys remember the gym leader Grusha and their challenge?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Couldn't you like glitch during their thing?
Yeah.
During
the sledding, it's a different model, I think, for Koraidon and Miraidon. So it rolls the odds for that, and there's a chance it can be shiny.
That's okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. But you can't have it.
But yeah, obviously you can't
so
have
dumb.
it, but it's just a neat little thing that can happen to make you feel sad.
Yeah, you have to hack in the Pokemon to get them shiny, which is so dumb.
So yeah, so if anyone ever trades you a shiny Koraidon, just note that is hacked, so you should probably delete it.
Yeah, hack it so they
it's
don't
illegal,
fuck
and
up your
Nintendo
profile.
ninjas will jump into your house and break your Switch.
Yeah.
With a Pikachu themed dagger. They gotta at least be on brand for it.
So true.
Oh, you know it. But, God, what was I about to say? So, I don't think we explained shiny locking. What it essentially is it's an in-game programmed thing where you cannot get the specific Pokemon shiny no matter what. And they started doing this of recent generations to... I don't know why. Like, maybe just to not let people, like, worry too much about getting, like, the certain legendary shiny or something, but it's so dumb.
Well, the biggest thing, my opinion, is always those tie-ins I was talking about. I mean, there are times when it kind of makes sense, like, oh, this thing was in the cutscene, maybe just shiny lock it, or this is a Pokemon you can't catch, please, for the love of God, make sure it's shiny locked. Stuff like that, but in majority of instances, I do not like shiny locking.
No, it's extremely dumb. I think it's a terrible mechanic that they have.
Yeah, especially after like the whole Gen 7 thing where you could like go and actually catch legendaries that could be shiny.
That was only in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and that was in previous games.
Yeah, that too, but it was such a good system. And you could get so many cool shinies from it, because most legendary shinies are really good.
Every game had that, but like Ultra Sun and Moon, one of the best parts about the Ultra thing is the amount of post-game content it added with almost every single legendary coming back.
Yeah, it was really good. You could get them shiny, but now you can't because now they're shiny locked.
Which is really dumb. I hate shiny locks. They're so bad.
So much. It is such a dumb concept.
But I think we should transition to the second part of Pokemon's postgame, the competitive scene.
Can I mention one last story about shinies?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Because I want to mention the hell I went through for shiny Lugia.
Oh,
that was a
Lugia.
legendary moment. That was such a legendary moment for you.
Because I had to go through like an entire D&D campaign, or almost an entire D&D campaign, until I finally got the damn shiny Lugia. Which, for people who know how long D&D campaigns go on, it's a long-ass time.
It was really impressive. I was so proud of you, bro, when you got that.
Because it wasn't just
I was
a
a
D&D
dad.
campaign, too, because I had usually always been hunting Lugia to some degree. Like, I played the original Silver. I tried hunting Lugia for that some. Never got it. I'm pretty sure I hunted it a little bit in Oros, but I gave up because I didn't really care too much as a kid. But then, when I went to play through Soul Silver, I was doing the mindset of I want like a fully shiny team, because Heart Gold and Soul Silver are really good for shiny runs, and I wanted a shiny Lugia. Lord, I did not know the pain I was gonna go through to get that thing, because every day and night when I was just like watching anime, doing some menial task, on my side I would have my DS that had rubber bands on it holding L and R down.
That's for soft resetting, by the way. There's like a combination.
Yeah, you have to press the combination
DS,
buttons, but the easiest way to do it is like you have to hold down the L and R triggers with something, and then just use one hand to press start, because I don't want to use two hands if I'm doing something else, like playing another game.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I would just it'd be at my side. I'd look over. I'd be like, "It's not red," and then I'd reset it because it got to the point where like I was always having to make sure I didn't soft reset over a shiny one that I was saying like blue, blue, red. Like I was
So
a
true.
zombie. But then I remember I was talking to a guy and he was talking about the shiny odds. And then when he was talking about it, I did another reset, and then the red beauty finally came in.
Yeah, I was there for it too, wasn't I?
Yeah, and over time, the more shinies you get, the less you pop off, because as a kid, like, I remember even when I did, like, chain fishing, which makes it really easy to get shinies, I would still be...
Chain fishing is so broken.
Because I would just be jumping up and down, because it was like, oh my god, it's a shiny, it's so rare, even though I lowered the odds to, like, 1 in 500. But as, like, an almost a grown man at that time, even though I had lost kind of that luster to kind of just like jump up and be excited for shinies, I popped off so damn hard for that.
You did. I was there for you, dude.
I was so
happy for you.
careful too while trying to catch it because I didn't really have the best team going into it because Lugia was like 10 levels higher than most everything I had. So I had a very specific strategy because I also didn't have a fall swiper that even played around the crits to get it to low health and try to catch it. But if that didn't work, I had the Master Ball ready too, because I was counting the exact number of moves it used to, so it couldn't use Struggle on itself.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, did you account for the Master Ball? But that answers
Yeah,
my question.
I counted for everything, because Lugia too, along with some other legendaries in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they have a lot of moves that just have like 5 power points. And once they use up all those power points, they use a move called Struggle that hurts themselves. So you need to, like, basically write down each time they use one of that move to know when they may use Struggle and when you should maybe just throw in a Master Ball. Because after all that time I spent suffering to get that thing with 1 in 8,000 odds, I was not gonna fucking fail it.
I'm honestly surprised you went through the struggle of just battling it and not using the Master Ball.
Well, I wanted to try to get it in a Premier Ball because that matched the colors.
No, yeah, that's fair.
That and it just looked cooler, and I wanted to use Master Ball in something else.
Did you get it in the Premier Ball?
Unfortunately, no, because catch rate is really bad for it.
That's fair. But for those who don't know, the Master Ball is a Pokeball that you can get only once every playthrough. That is a guaranteed catch.
I think
like,
you
no
get
matter
two-
what, it
two
will
in a
not
couple
fail.
games.
In a few, but it's really rare to get that second one. And it's really hard.
Not Noras. I think you just go pick it up.
What? Wait, what do
not
you do?
Noras. Just one of the games, you literally just go yoink, and you get another one.
Oh, Sword and Shield, you can get 2 of them. You had to get the DLC, though.
No, not Sword and Shield. It's a different game. One that I actually wanted to play.
Specifying he actually wanted to play.
Well, also, I've never touched Sword and Shield. I've kept away from it with like a 15-foot stick.
No, that's fair.
Because I will only
that game
play it
is
if I can
ass.
find like a pre-owned copy for cheap. Just because I do not want to support that game.
No, it's pretty
Because
bad.
even beyond technical things, everything I've watched from it, its story looks so fucking bland.
It's
story
really
is
bad.
ass.
It looks stupid easy. At least Scarlet and Violet were pretty easy too, but I could challenge myself by going to some of the higher level gym leaders when I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
But like Sword and Shield, no, that thing was just like piss easy the whole
I
time.
remember like I don't know if it was a week or a few days maybe, after it came out, I was seeing stuff like Sword and Shield are so short that you can beat it in under like 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's I don't know. Some of the again, I don't want to go back to this because I want to focus on the good stuff. But it's like some of the recent choices with like game design is just really weird.
Also, anything with like the story, because like that's why I do like Scarlet and Violet a lot more, because I think it actually had a pretty solid story. But like Sword and Shield, anytime something in the story would pop up, they'd be like, "Oh no, don't worry about that. Don't look at this cool thing that's happening. Go do your shitty gym challenge," while Leon does all the cool stuff.
Yeah, that's literally the story of Sword and Shield. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, and then occasionally like, oh, there was a king and queen. I wonder who this person was that was protecting the kingdom. Oh wait, it's a dog. Who would have guessed?
The worst part of it is that the main villain, this guy named Chairman Rose, his whole thing is that his like region is supposed to be going through like some energy crisis thing, and the whole thing is that he's trying to get a bunch of energy so that way they can last for like 1,000 years or something.
No. He was concerned about an energy crisis, which wouldn't happen until 1,000 years from that point.
That's what it was. Yeah. He's trying to get a bunch of energy for that. You know, in context, 1,000 years. So he decides to bring about basically a giant fucking monster. He decides to summon a giant monster to give him energy. Surprise! It doesn't listen and almost destroys the entire region until, the 10-year-old comes with a Master Ball and catches it.
So basically, it's kind of like if we tried to solve global warming by freezing the whole Earth.
But I want to point out the really dumb part of the fact that throughout the game, it's 1,000 years in the future. Leon tells him, "Can you not wait a day so we can get this challenge through so you don't make a huge fuss about it?" He's like, "No, I literally cannot wait a day. It's 1,000 years in the future. I can't wait a day, bro." So he decides to ruin the champion match in the middle of it and be like, "Hey, by the way, I'm evil now, so you have to come and fight me." But then when you beat him, he doesn't even act upset. He's like, "Oh man, you're such a good trainer, kid. Go kill the Eldritch God on the roof for me, by the way."
That is very interesting.
With the assistance of the sword doggos.
It pisses me off so much because it's so dumb. And part of me is like, oh, you can tell his whole thing is energy because there are a few moments in the game where his whole thing is energy. But it's so dog shit. I hate it.
And I mean, too, when you have some Pokemon that are literally just fucking generators, I don't think it's too big of a problem.
Yeah, exactly. There's an entire type dedicated to energy with the electric type.
Bro, just breed a bunch of Grubbins, evolve them into Charge-a-Bugs, there's your generators.
Exactly. And it's
so true!
And, I'm not about to be the person to be like, Pokemon is for the story. I don't think really anyone ever plays Pokemon for the story.
No one does.
Yeah.
The story can be alright at times, but it's not something that...
So I'm not about to be like, Pokemon's story was always super incredible. It was the next Lord of the Rings. I'm not going to be like that. But its story is so fucking dog shit.
No, the stories are relatively mid. If we're comparing it to something like Persona 5 or fucking God of War.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The stories are mid, but Sword and Shield story is fucking terrible.
I mean, I know they're
bad.
for kids, but you should still be giving good stuff to kids. Don't feed them garbage all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Kids are a lot smarter.
Chairman Rose is literally a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
He literally is.
He's so terrible.
He's not interesting, but I don't know. That's just a byproduct of Pokemon's just not really adapting itself really, and frankly they try to rely on the same formula, but they don't put as much time into it. So because of that, the product gets it fails. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I like Scarlet and Violet more than Sword and Shield, because while Scarlet and Violet might have more flaws, I think its story is just so much better when compared to a Sword and Shield, because there's actual fucking characters that you can care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
here, how about we don't shit on it for a little bit? How about we talk about some of the parts of Pokemon that were really good to close this up?
Yeah, of course. I'll let y'all go first on this.
Can I talk about Gen 5 peak?
Yeah.
Because Gen 5, content-wise, I think is probably the best. Ultra Sun and Moon did a really good job with it too, but Gen 5 is just better in my opinion.
Here's the thing. I've actually never played a Gen 5 game before. I've played every other game except for Gen 5.
Because I lent you my
not...
copies, and you still haven't fucking played them yet, because you keep playing Souls
I
games.
really want to play Gen 5, but I can't because Guy keeps hoarding the black and white copies, so I can't borrow them from Brewer.
Look, I just beat Tears of the Kingdom. That game was fucking long, okay?
Yeah, no,
150
Tears of the
hours.
Kingdom, that's fine, but you've replayed, like, every Souls game, like, 5 times.
I will get on them soon, do not worry, okay?
By soon, do you mean 10 years?
Shut
Like
up!
Chairman Rose,
We're gonna be
playing
doing
for something
yeah.
in 1,000 years.
Stop talking!
We're gonna be doing an episode on Pokemon again in like a year or something, and then guys still won't have finished them.
At most,
Stop talking!
Still have considered what starter he wants.
Okay, let's actually talk about like our favorite things in our region, please. God. Oh my god.
It's been a long ass time since I played those games, but I just have such fond memories of them because again, childhood nostalgia and all that. But like, I picked my funny Oshawott, and then I made a team of just killing machines while I ripped through Team Plasma. Because Team Plasma was a pretty good villain team. In a black and white too, they look pretty badass, I think. That and their theme was really catchy. It's like I've said before, Pokemon music just does not miss. Or sometimes it misses, but for the most part, the one aspect of Pokemon games I think they usually don't mess up on is the music.
Yeah, the music slaps. Like, if you guys have never played a Pokemon game before, just look up the soundtrack. Like, God, what's a good one? Oh, look up Fight in Area Zero Sada theme on, like, Spotify or fucking YouTube. That shit slaps so hard.
Gladion's theme is so good when you play it in Smash Bros.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Another good one is the, fucking... I can't remember what it is, but it's, like, I think one of the gym battle themes from, No, wait, no. It's Pokemon Stadium. Mirror B. Mirror B's track is a freaking banger.
Dude, whenever you went up against a legendary in Gen 5, because Gen 5 had a really good amount of legendaries, especially in Black and White 2, when they opened the floodgates and you could find Pokemon from all regions. Like, fighting the Reggie Trio and all those other ones, the music was such a fucking banger.
Yeah, they really put emphasis on making you feel like, oh my god, this is a really big threat I'm going up against.
Even the cities, like Driftvale City, that one was really good, because that's iconic.
It's amazing.
The soundtrack is so good, but Bro, keep talking about like why you love.
Real quick, you want to know why Scarlet and Violet has such a banger soundtrack?
Why?
No,
because it was composed by Toby Fox.
A couple tracks.
That's why it's
no, only like two tracks.
Terrorite theme.
Yeah, that it's literally one.
I know, but I'm gonna say that so that way people think it is.
We are never covering Deltarune or Undertale.
Fuck you.
Good.
Oh my god.
So yeah, Gen 5, I know it was very controversial at the time for its designs, but I think they've aged like a fine wine. Because go look back at something like Hydreigon, Bisharp, Golurk, Excadrill. Like, people always like dog on like Vanillux and all that, and Vanillish. Like, motherfuckers, go look at Gen 1. You got Magneton and all that.
You got Voltorb.
Yeah, same concepts.
You got Muck.
You got Guy getting on the garbage Pokemon. It's literally just garbage, Guy. It's a well-executed design.
I like Muck, but mostly it's a low-end form. Okay?
No, I'm talking about Garbodor.
Oh, okay, Garbodor, like, it's not the worst, but I'm not a fan of it.
I mean, I'm not saying it's the best either, but you're acting like it committed sins upon Earth.
It did, because it took up a fucking slot.
No, it did not.
Fuck you. Garbodor, top 4. Garbodor is number 4 favorite.
Luckily, another good point about Gen 5 is it introduced a lot of new Pokemon, so even if it did take up a slot, there was a lot more Pokemon to play with.
So true.
That is really true. Connor, what's some of your favorite things about your generation?
Gen 6. My favorite... probably have to be Megas, obviously.
That is such a huge one, dude. It's so good.
I feel like that's like it's the coolest mechanic. I think terrestrialization is the best one they've had so far, or gimmick, I guess.
Yeah. The Dynamax was okay. I mean, they literally just confused Megas with Z moves, but
Dynamax was busted competitively in so many ways. And
Yeah, it was okay. It was relatively balanced better than fucking Mega Evolutions, but like it's just it could have been done better.
But Megas are obviously a big one. Like, even if they aren't the best competitive because they're busted, I think they're so cool. I wish we would have gotten more Megas. I wish the Gen 6 starters would have actually gotten Megas besides just Greninja, and even then it's not a Mega, it's an...
He didn't even give him out. Yeah, I was about to say, he did not give him
The only Gen 6 Mega is Diancie.
Yeah, it's...
And that was an event. That's not even like something you can get naturally.
It's basically a Mega, but at the same time, it's not... That's something that I really will dog on Gen 6 forever, is that they didn't give the starters of the Mega generation their own Megas. They instead they gave them to the Gen 1 and Gen 3 starters for some reason.
We need a Gen 6 remake.
That's so true.
They give some Megas, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more so you had the new Pokemon, but Megas they wanted to emphasize on the old ones.
Yeah.
And bring back some nostalgia.
They gave Audino, like they gave Audino a Mega Evolution, but not Greninja or Chestnut. Like,
I still will never forget. They were going to do one for Flygon, but they couldn't come up with a decent enough design, so they didn't.
It makes me so upset.
They gave Audino Mega Evolution. Audino's cool, but like that would not be my first pick. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm happy they did that compared to like giving Charizard and Mewtwo 2 forms. Like, okay, I get why you gave both of them a form, even though Mewtwo really didn't need it. But come on,
I don't think
two of them.
I don't think Charizard needed it. I think Charizard X is enough.
Yeah,
because it's just better. But
you know, it's funny because like Charizard, Mega Charizard Y is actually worse than a base Mewtwo.
Yeah. But my thing, okay, so, and the rest of my favorites, I think the Fighting Gym is really cool. The Psychic Gym is freaking amazing. I love the Psychic Gym. The Elite Four, like the whole Elite Four thing is epic as shit. Like I don't care. I will always defend the Elite Four, even if they aren't like the best. Like,
they're not the most memorable, and the ones I do remember...
Yeah, they're not the most memorable,
like,
but I don't care. The overall design of the Elite Four is one of the most epic shit. Like, it's just so epic and cool. I love it so much.
The design is really good, and that's why it became a Smash stage, but then you go against the trainers, and then you're going up against a dude that's cosplaying as a samurai, and he throws out a set of keys to fight you.
Yeah, it's really, like, the Elite Four themselves aren't super strong. Diancie's a huge pushover. I was able to, like, basically sweep...
You mean Diantha?
Diantha, sorry. I did a Nuzlocke recently. By the way, we're not going to get into Nuzlocks here, but Nuzlocks are essentially challenges in Pokemon where you can self-impose your own rules, where if a Pokemon faints, it dies, and there's a whole bunch of other rules. But essentially, I did a Nuzlocke, and I basically swept her entire team with a single Drapion. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure
really
I swept her team with a Mega Gengar.
Yeah,
that is funny.
They're not the strongest, but the overall design and like whole thing with how the chambers activate is so cool that I'm willing to forgive it.
Yeah, like that's actually the first Elite Four, and I think that's the only Elite Four actually where you can, well, besides Gen 7, that you can actually challenge the Elite Four in any way you like.
Gen 5.
Wait, can you actually do that in Gen 5?
Yeah, you can do it in Gen 5.
Again, Gen 5 had everything.
This is
against every single gym leader in existence, and also trainers like Red. Because dude, there was so much content in Gen 5. Like,
this is a byproduct of me not playing Gen 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I was just like, you should play Gen 5.
Get shit on, Guy.
I know. Try not to hate on Guy challenge for an episode. Impossible.
He's a fucking idiot.
Oh my god. But yeah, I guess we can transition to my favorites. So, my favorite is like Gen 6 and Gen 4. I guess my favorite part about Gen 4 is like, I felt like that's when the series was like truly balanced in its difficulty and its mechanics, if that makes sense.
Well, I think the thing you mentioned about the EXP share, the EXP share has never been a bad thing. They've just never boosted the levels up enough for it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because in most JRPGs, honestly, I hate it when they don't like level up my other party members and stuff.
Yeah, but the game needs to be balanced. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like that's more of a just boost the levels of everything else. Don't make me grind excessively, because that was a problem in the older games, especially Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Which, while I love those games, that's why I love Black 2 and White 2 a lot more, because the levels in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they were so fucking dumb.
Yeah, they were. It did not exactly pride itself on its non-linearity.
Before fighting Red, I had to like re-battle the gym leaders like so many damn times before I was even close enough to take them on. Which, it kind of sucks that the game that has the trainer with the highest level Pokemon in existence, I think, I may be wrong about that, but really high damn level Pokemon.
Wait, what game?
Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Red.
No, that goes to Gen 6, because Diantha's team is like level 70.
No, Red has level 80 Pokemon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about champions. Shit, my bad.
No, I'm saying highest level, like, trainers. I think there may be a new one by technicality, but I think just regular trainer. Red is the highest. But it was also the game with, like, the slowest ways of gaining EXP.
That is really true.
So I was stuck in a damn grind fest getting all my mons ready.
Yeah. Gen 4, to me, is really special because I love the mechanics of the game, like Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because those, I feel like Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver are like peak Pokemon, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Not saying Heart Gold is fucking, like, perfect. That game definitely has its flaws, because it's Gen 2. Gen 2 is really mid, I'm not even gonna lie.
Gen 2 is not good. It's not as bad as like most modern, or not most, but like the reason I say most is because like some people consider like Gen 6 and 7 is modern, but I'm talking they're not as bad as Gen 8 and Gen 9.
It just has some design things that I think for the time were fine on the Game Boy, but didn't translate well over to the remakes, and they should have fixed that. And really don't translate well into the modern age.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they didn't have the EXP thing, and that would have been my main concern, because the difficulty is remained the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Meanwhile,
I wish they
upgrading
did have
some
the
stuff.
EXP thing in Heart Gold Soul Silver, because again, it was pain.
I don't think so, because like it gave me enough challenge, you know what I mean? But I do understand the grind. That can be a turn off. I do understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A lot about turn-offs.
Oh my god. But I love the mechanical, like, freedom of Gen 4, and it's just like, Platinum especially, I felt like I had a lot of Pokemon to choose from. There were some of my favorite Pokemon in there, like Lucario, Garchomp, and many others, and then like Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Not only did I also have that mechanical freedom, I also had like 2 regions to explore with 16 gym leaders, which is so cool for the time, which no other Pokemon game has recreated, unfortunately. But it's so fun to me, just being able to go throughout these games and like really feel free, and also just like, I don't know, experience like, to me, peak 2D Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
I remember before the Scarlet and Violet DLC got announced that there was a lot of fan theories that it might have been like a Kalos sort of thing, and I was so excited because that could have been the possibility.
No.
And then it wasn't true.
You really think they're
know.
gonna put that much effort into it?
Yeah, I honestly L on my end for actually believing Pokemon put effort into their games nowadays.
Yep, never. That's not
You
gonna
must
happen.
consume product while they make more product, and then be ready for next product, and consume that product.
So true.
And the cycle must
Yep.
continue
The cycle must continue.
to make.
But yeah, guys,
sales.
One must imagine Sisyphus buying every Pokemon game.
one must imagine Sisyphus a shill.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, guys, I think it's a fun stopping point for the Pokemon discussion. Obviously, we did not get into everything, especially with the mainline games. Like, I would have loved to talk about competitive more. I love competitive Pokemon.
We didn't even touch
But
spin-offs.
Oh, that's so true. We were just going on rants about how much we hate Game Freak and how much we love them at the same time.
I
yeah.
mean, because again, there's so many faucets, the Pokemon. Like, there's also the trading card game because like we've opened a decent amount of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, shoutouts to our one. What was it, like 2 hour video? 1 hour and a half.
We had that episode where I bought like 60 packs of Pokemon cards. We just opened a shit ton of them.
And it was an awesome video, and y'all should definitely look at it. Maybe we get some rares. Maybe we get some, like, $1,000 cards. There's no telling. But yeah, I think it's a good stopping point for our Pokemon discussion. What do you guys think?
I think that's good, yeah.
Yep. Like I said before, I think Pokemon has had some really good highs. Unfortunately, as of recently, I think they're just kind of... The games are still good, but they're kind of not at...
Mid!
I guess if you want to put it like that.
That's Guy's Pokemon cry.
Imagine encountering me in the wild and going, mid.
Yo, Gaimon. Mid!
Hold on, look, this is... Alright, command me to do my signature attack, please.
Alright, Guy, use constant bitching.
Mid! You just got one shot.
Super effective.
Don't worry, when Guy takes damage, he can heal by using his ability, Cry in the Corner. When you switch him out to let his friends fight, he can cry in the corner and recover some HP.
He uses his signature status move called Rant About Soulsborne games. It causes paralysis on the opposing Pokemon.
That's such a good move. 100% accuracy.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh my god.
His ability is Toxic Gameplay, which essentially is Poison Point, but it's 50% instead of 30%.
What that entails, like the description of it is, he will pick Cloud in Smash Bros. And only use back air.
He has his hidden ability of looking up Rule 34, and instead of fighting Cynthia, he finds Vaporeon.
Oh my god. But yeah, I guess that's a good stopping point. So guys, if you like this content, remember, hit that like button like you're hitting a Pokemon with a Pokeball, because I know you're wanting to catch them all.
And smash that subscribe button. Like Guy wants to smash Cynthia and MILFs, and like how I want to smash a Vaporeon. And Connor probably wants to smash a Lucario, for being honest.
Okay. And make sure to comment what your favorite Pokemon is and what we should cover next.
And quick reminder, guys, remember, giveaway. Comment your
Giveaway.
favorite Pokemon. Like,
subscribe.
And subscribe. That's all you have to do. You can win a free game on Steam.
For free. There is no catch. Being serious, just those three things.
We send you the code, you put it in, you get a copy of Quiplash 2.
This isn't Fortnite card giveaways.
But yeah, guys, with that being said, we've been Fetch Quest, and this has been our episode on Pokemon. Thank y'all very much.
Adios.